everyone. Today's video is going to be on deadlifting. Duh, you got it from the title. And I'm also going to be talking about how martial arts somewhat translates over to, actually significantly translates over to powerlifting and strength training and deadlifting in particular, because today's video and what I'm doing right now is warming up for tomorrow's deadlifts. So I'm preparing to pull some weight tomorrow, but you're going to watch that video right now as well. Well, not right now, but in a few moments. So we're going to first just as quickly discuss how martial arts translates over to deadlifting and how it translates over to powerlifting and general strength training. But in particular, the sumo deadlift is something I'd like to focus on because that's what I'm going to be showing you in a few moments, and that's going to be my training for tomorrow. And really, it translates over in the sense of exactly how I'm standing right now. So if you're looking at how I have this sort of wide positioned stance. Now in martial arts training, it's a very similar style, and also with regards to the torque and torsion of the hips. So if you can see here, now I'm standing with my hips not really torqued out, and I wouldn't want to pull a deadlift like this, nor would I want to throw a martial arts kick or any sort of movement, because I'm not really driving, I'm not getting any driving force from the ground. So what I'm going to do here is torque my hips out. So you see the difference in? That's in forward, and now I want to torque out. So you can see immediately the difference of the two. So you're kind of torquing the hips out the same way you would in a deadlift pull, and you're doing that with a martial arts sort of kick. But I'm going to demonstrate that just quickly for you here, and then we're going to get into tomorrow's training because I don't want to draw this video out too long. But first, I want to change outfits. So let me just do that. There we go. So what I wanted to quickly demonstrate for you here and elaborate on in my Taekwondo uniform, Nike Taekwondo uniform. This is actually one I had to order not too long ago because I'd actually trained for 9 years until my late teens. So I had, I've taken a long break. So I mean, going back almost a year now. I had to order a larger size uniform for myself because obviously the one when I was in my teens did not fit. But I trained for 9 years under Master Myung. Master Myung's, I don't know how many degrees or how many dans he has in terms of his black belt. I think he's 11 at this point. He's been training his whole life. He trained from he came over from Korea, and excellent teacher. So I'll put the link in the description below to Master Myung's Taekwondo if you're interested in checking it out for whatever reason, because he still has many schools throughout Canada as far as I know. I'm not sure about the States, United States or anything like that, but link in the description below. So let's get to what I'm talking about here. I wanted to point out that when you are in a martial arts stance, or if you note the stance of any martial arts fighter, UFC is very popular. So you'll see that they have this torqued out in the hips, which I just demonstrated and showed you moments ago because I can't show you really as much right now because it's a lot more baggy versus the tight compression, which you just saw, which better elaborated on what I'm describing here. So the torquing of the hips, or the turning out of the hips, generates that driving force, that power, which allows them to have the explosive movements. So if I'm to demonstrate for you here, just really quickly, I'm going to step back. And you'll see when I take a stance that's very similar to a sumo deadlift stance, I'm able to get into that typical fighting stance, which you'll see, and in the case of Taekwondo, it's that the front foot is about a 45-degree angle out, whereas the back foot is generally approximately just parallel, or just straight forward as you see right here. So this allows me to get that rotation by having this leg turned out, and I generate a lot of the power driving force from the back leg, and this is more of a pivoting foot in the sense where I'm just simply pivoting off of it to strike whatever it may be. But the driving power, the movement comes from the force production from the ground through just driving, screwing out the hips, in through the big movers, using all your fast twitch muscle fibers in order to perform the rotational movement. Here I'm going to demonstrate with just a quick turn. So I'm in fighting stance. Turn, switch, switch, switch. And by doing the turning out of the hips, it allows me to get into these positions very quickly using those fast twitch muscle fibers, which I'm describing here. It can work all directions, and it's basically just a quick turning of the hips, a quick movement. Doing those is actually quite tiring. It was a warm-up that I used to do years ago. I still do it now and then. And what it does is just activates certain muscles and just gets certain fluidity of the joints prior to, for instance, tomorrow I'm going to be doing some deadlifts. So today is like a warm-up to that. So this is why it translates over, in my opinion. The other side of this is that in these movements, imagine that these are my feet with my toes. I'm literally gripping into the ground and turning out in order to generate that twist, that torque. So in the motion of a kick, I'm twisting the feet out, generating the power from the back leg, pivoting off the front, and boom. Ready? Boom. And it works the other way as well. The rotation comes from the turning of the hips. So this is what I wanted to demonstrate for you here and elaborate on before we get into the deadlift session, because I believe it's a big point to make in terms of the carryover to strength training. And if you're interested in martial arts or anything like that, then I would suggest trying it out at home for yourself. Even if you want to consider things like Tai Chi, this wide stance is called sink to the earth. It starts at the beginning of a Tai Chi movement. You sink to the earth. And here you're grounding, generating that power, driving force. Now Tai Chi is obviously not so much like Taekwondo with the explosive movements, but you get the sense of what I'm saying here. It all is very much similar in the stance, and you're going to see that in the deadlifts, which I'm going to demonstrate in a moment. So let's get to that. It's cracking YouTube. Today I'm going to hit those deadlifts and I'm going to work up to a pretty heavy amount. But first I wanted to show you this slick outfit which I'm wearing right now. It's from Muscle Fitness Factory. Really comfortable, really warm, and I need it right now, especially because check that out, it's like freezing in here. You can see my breath. Dante's not happy with it. I'm not that happy with it. Makes training a little bit less fun, but when you got stuff like this nice thick material, stay warm, I don't necessarily mind. You're just getting ready. I'm just getting ready. Let's go do some deadlifts. Stay with me. Hope you enjoy.